We'll begin this morning with a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the June 14, 2021 meeting for the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year, also representing District 2. Joining me today is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner Aaron Mays, representing District 3. Good morning.
Morning.
Madam Clerk, our first item.
Item 1, proclamations, presentations. A, video presentation of community uses of the Shawnee County Coronavirus Relief Funds.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
We have, Jennifer Sauer, Deputy Financial Administrator. As you are aware, Shawnee County received approximately $36.7 million in coronavirus relief funds money to be used to address the health and economic challenges inflicted by COVID-19 on Shawnee County and provide resources to both mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and assist in economic recovery within Shawnee County. The Shawnee County Spark Committee reviewed and made recommendations to the BCC to provide CRF funds to the subgrantees that are listed. As you see, this list includes a couple of grants that broadened the list of beneficiaries to these funds even further. Over 500 businesses, nonprofit organizations, school districts, tax authorities, and departments of Shawnee County were benefited by these funds. Andrea and I were the primary points of contact for these subgrantees, utilizing the Shawnee County Cares email address, auditing the reimbursement requests, and allocating reimbursements to the subgrantees. I want to take this opportunity to thank Andrea for the hours and hours of time that she dedicated to this project over the past few months. We would not have been able to get these funds allocated as effectively as we did without you. So thanks. As a part of our closeout process for the funds, we asked the subgrantees to provide pictures, videos, or brief summaries of how the funds were able to help their organization. We utilized the experience of Stephanie Kuhlman, thank you for letting us borrow her for this, to pull those together into this brief video. Thanks, Stephanie. After the video, Andrea will read a couple of testimonials that we received from recipients.
Greetings, friends. We just want to reach out from Vallejo Behavioral Health Care here in Topeka, and all the supporters in Shawnee County, and particularly the county commissioners and the CARES team, say thank you for the CARES Act money. The funds that we used here went for salaries for essential workers, so that we could keep the doors open, make sure that the public safety net kept operating during the COVID crisis. We also used that money to make some physical modifications to the work environment so the clients would feel comfortable coming here. We just can't say enough about the support that we've received from the county, and thank you so much for helping us move forward.
The Shawnee County Sheriff's Office is thankful for the financial assistance we received from the Coronavirus Relief Fund. We use these funds to purchase Priority Dispatch, a software system that enhances the processing of medical, fire, and police calls, personal protective equipment for our employees that interact with our citizens on a daily basis, and an incinerator that has assisted us with mitigating the transmission of COVID-19 from contaminated items. We greatly appreciate this assistance.
Good morning, Andrea Forbes, Internal Auditor. I'm going to present some of the testimonies that we received from recipients of the CRF money. As mentioned in the video, the Race Against Breast Cancer utilized CRF funding to provide mammograms and ultrasounds for Shawnee County residents in medical and financial need due to COVID-19. They received a following thank you note from one of the recipients of the funds. RABC is greatly appreciated by me and my family. I changed jobs due to impact from COVID-19 and lost my health insurance in the process. I was unable to get the mammogram ordered by my doctor for an ongoing issue. I was unsure of what to do, so I called the breast center, and the friendly staff there helped me to apply for RABC. Thank you so much for the peace of mind for me and my family, and for all you do for others who have no insurance and cannot pay for services. Catholic Charities also used some of their CRF funding to provide housing assistance to Shawnee County residents that lost income due to COVID. They shared the following story with us. One resident came in for a case management appointment late last fall because he had lost his job due to COVID-19. His company had laid off many workers during the pandemic, and since few companies were hiring, he had been unable to find another job. After a couple months of unemployment, he used all his savings and could not pay his rent. Someone directed him to Catholic Charities, and we used the Shawnee County Spark funds to pay his arrears and current month's rent. His gratitude spilled over, and his face shone with relief. Lastly, the East Topeka Center was one of the recipients that was able to use our fund, the CRF funds, to reopen safely, and they stated, "Thank you for assisting us in navigating a different and difficult time. It was vitally important for the mental stability of our seniors that they were able to return to in-person meetings as soon as possible. Without the additional funds, we would not have been able to afford to do the things that allowed us to bring them back in a safe manner." I also want to say thank you to Jennifer for all the time she spent alongside me, and thank you, Stephanie, for the video. And we'll answer any questions.
I just wanted to thank everybody that's been involved, Andrea, Jennifer, Commissioner Rippon. I know that you work with the Sparks Committee, but thank you for everybody that's been involved, and this is a good report on getting back to the community as to where the money went to and what it was used for. Commissioner Rippon, any thoughts?
Well, I just, hats off to all the staff people who helped work on this. There was a lot of hours and trying to decide how to disperse this money equally and fairly, and I think they did a great job with all that. And and just tracking where everything goes and is it eligible for this type of expenditure. It's a lot of work, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Mays, anything?
Yeah, I would certainly echo that. I think you guys did a great job, especially under the circumstances, with given such a short time frame in which to distribute these funds and to get some of these projects completed. I think it was a pretty hardy endeavor. So I appreciate your hard work on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There are 6 items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions, or is there a motion?
I'd move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers totaling $1,401,031.88. A few highlights under that, under building and maintenance to Ace Electric Jones Company for $19,000 is to replace the electrical service at Crestview Park. $39,600 to Kansas Correctional Industries is for park signage, new park signage at multiple parks. Under bridge project, we've got King Construction for $89,476.43. That's for the final payment on the bridge at Northwest Glick Road over Ensign Creek. And then under special assessment to Bartlett and West for $20,100 is for design services for Timber Ridge subdivision, or sub number 2 street improvement. So I don't have any questions about this. If you don't, then I would move for approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflected, it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, Department of Corrections. Number 1, consider approval of a request to accept the bid of $458,000 from Meriden Roofing Solutions for Phase 1 of the roof replacement project, replacing the current roofing membrane of the Juvenile Detention Center and the east addition of the Adult Detention Center.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. And one correction is that I misspelled it. It is Meridian. So that is my fault. It just auto-corrected, so that's my fault. But it is Meridian. But this was something that was talked to about during our budget process, and the money set aside. Obviously, we would have to go through the bid process, in which we did. We set it out. The bid sheet should be attached to the request. We did go with the lowest, most responsive bid. We have worked with this company in the past, that we feel very comfortable with this. And this begins a phase of replacing the roof. That is, some of it has been the existence of the facility for anywhere over 20 years. We did work with Audit Finance regarding this request, and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Brian regarding this request?
None.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider approval of a request to authorize an emergency purchase replacement of 4 remote monitoring workstations, including extended 2-year warranty with sound products at a cost of $13,558, utilizing departmental budgetary funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. After working with Jennifer, and who also consulted with Betty, we really didn't feel that this was an emergency purchase, but it's something that needs to be done very soon. During we have our company who is inside the facility doing the upgrade and came across this. This is very critical for us to get this approved so we can start the process of getting it. Some of these parts wouldn't be here for 4 to 5 weeks, so I believe, in speaking with Jennifer and who consulted with Betty, really wasn't an emergency purchase, but it is something that's very critical. Just last week, going through the upgrade, we were without several hours without cameras, so we had to go into a lockdown. We're trying to prevent extenuating or exhausting lockdowns, and this is something that we have to get taken care of. We have the money in our budget to be able to do this, but I wanted to make sure that presenting this, that we did work with Betty and Audit Finance and Jennifer regarding this not being an emergency, but being a critical purchase that we can get done. And I want to thank Susie and the commission for allowing us to get this on the commission early. Yes. Yes, and to waive the purchasing policy, I'm sorry.
That was going to be my question.
They're sole source.
All right. So we're not going to have this as an emergency purchase, but have this as a sole source purchase.
Yes.
So that it can be done immediately and have this fixed due to its critical necessary for your infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Any questions for the director?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon, reflecting that it is a sole source purchase, waiver of the purchasing policy. Motion made by, again, Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item C, County Councilor, number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2021-41, expanding the sale of cereal malt beverages and alcoholic liquor on Sundays.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. The Kansas Legislature recently amended state law to allow for the expansion of sales of alcohol on Sundays, expanding from openings at noon to openings at 9 a.m. The legislation allows cities or counties to adopt a resolution or an ordinance to authorize those expanded sales within its jurisdiction. This resolution would, if adopted, would authorize those businesses located in the unincorporated area of Shawnee County to expand sales on Sundays to 9 a.m. in the morning from presently noon. It does not go into effect immediately. It'd have to be published, and then there is a 60-day period by which a protest petition could be filed to put it to a public vote. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions regarding the resolution?
So this just aligns county law with state law? Is that what we're doing, making them the same?
When the state went through the legislative session, they amended the statute to allow this. So this would give us the full authority as authorized by the legislature.
Okay.
And then, so it would, again, just encompass those that are outside of the city limits or in the unincorporated areas of Shawnee County.
Okay.
Commissioner Mays, any questions?
Nope. I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Number 2, consider approval of request to issue a request for proposals for technical and administrative services for hosting an online auction for the judicial tax foreclosure sale.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Jim Krause, Shawnee County Councilor. As you know, my office is responsible for judicial tax foreclosure sales. We've been doing some research on this. Of course, COVID-19 has caused everybody to review how they operate, and this is one area where we've made that review as well. There are a couple of different companies out there that do offer online auction services for this very purpose. They also do other things, so we will issue a broad RFP just to find out what's offered and costs involved from the information I've been able to gather so far. From another county in the state of Kansas who does this. They're very happy with their online process and the services that they've received and the cost effectiveness really of the services. So it really could be a win-win in terms of getting this done in a cost-effective way, opening up this process to hopefully more bidders, which will be better for the taxpayers of this county in terms of the returns we would get on our sales, and
So that's the reason for the request. We'll receive those and evaluate those in a few weeks.
So presently, as we go through the process, when a property gets to the tax foreclosure, you have to register to bid. Your office goes through a background check to make sure that they're eligible.
Yes, and that process wouldn't change, especially initially. We would still be managing the process. It's just an online partner for us to contract with to actually conduct the sale. But we would still be vetting and verifying with them, whoever we would contract with, that potential bidders are eligible.
And then so as opposed to having this as a physical presence at Ag Hall, they would be able to do it online.
Yes, you would register online, get access online. Again, I've spoken with a county that has done 3 sales through this method already. They're very happy with how it's worked. It's very user-friendly, and they've had more and more response and participation each time they do one.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Jim, would this affect, well, I guess maybe it depends on which company come forward, but the payment for these properties, it seems like the way that we do it now, don't they have to have certified funds with them in the form of cashier's checks and stuff? Will we be able to just do an electronic transaction to pay the exact amount?
The way that the county that I've spoken with does it is actually the company operates the auction and receives the funds, and then they transfer the funds to us.
Okay.
So yes, it would be online.
It seems like it's always been that, these auctions, if you don't know how to work the system, it's very difficult to actually purchase a property. And so hopefully this opens it up to a broader pool of bidders in the future. So I'm all in favor here, so I'd move to approve if there's not any other questions.
Commissioner Rippon, any other questions?
No questions, and I'll second the motion.
Motion made for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Did you want me to read these separately?
I think we can take all 3 up as one item.
Okay, all right. Item D, Parks and Recreation, number 1. Consider authorization and execution of the following pertaining to the July 4th Spirit of Kansas activities. A, Resolution number 2021-42, authorizing temporary traffic signs and barricades and no wake boating restrictions for July 4th on Lake Shawnee and Contract C-221-2021 with Boy Scout Troop 193B for parking assistance during activities for a cost of $1,200. B, Contract C-216-2021 with Labor Max to provide temporary staffing for maintenance during the event at a cost of $1,716 with funding from the Park Services Division operating budget. And C, Contract C-217-2021 Memorandum of Understanding with Cumulus Media for promotions of the event, including the fireworks soundtrack, with over $14,600 in value provided in kind to Shawnee County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. As the clerk has stated, all these items pertaining to the Spirit of Kansas celebration we have on July 4th. I'll just kind of remind you to pull off an event of this magnitude, it takes a lot of good partners, and I can't say enough about our emergency management, the Sheriff's Department, the City of Topeka Police, Public Works, AMR. I hope I'm not missing one, but they work together closely to devise a plan to get the people in and out of Lake Shawnee as the quickest and safest way. And that first item, that's our traffic resolutions for signs and barricades. For this, we also have a contract with the Boy Scouts to help us park cars in 3 different parking lots. It's a way they can make a little money for their troop, but also a tremendous help to us. The next item is Labor Max. We found out the last several years we've hired the people to come in and they clean a lot of our outdoor restrooms and pick up trash, which is they can do it much cheaper than we can with staff. And last but not least, the Cumulus Radio is our radio sponsor, and this agreement details that. But I do want to state our title sponsor is Capital Federal. If you recall, they came in 2002 and have been a title sponsor and have paid for the fireworks ever since then. If you recall, last year they had a check presentation, gave us the money, but we ended up having to cancel the event because of COVID. We've asked them to come down. They said they got enough of their publicity, but I told them I'd sure give them a plug again, because without John Dykus and that group, wouldn't be possible. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
So this will be the second year that we've had road construction around Lake Shawnee, I guess third within the last 5 years. Do we anticipate that we're going to be able to get individuals safely in and out using 21st Street and 37th Street on the West Edge Road?
Yes. This hasn't been, if you recall, it's probably been 6, 7, 8 years ago, 45th was under construction at that time too. So again, our team of the emergency management and the sheriff and our park police have come up with what they feel is the safest and quickest. I do recommend that the people coming out and leaving, the next day is the official holiday. If you want to just sit and enjoy conversation for a little bit and be patient leaving the facility, would be recommended.
And I think I said 21st, but I meant 29th Street. So.
I knew what you meant. And I have seen your promo with John Dykus. It looks really good. You've made it completely through.
Well, Commissioner Rippon, I know that we couldn't measure up to your commercial from last year. So.
I've not seen this yet, so somebody send me a link or something.
Any questions regarding the items?
No, but I just had a little bit of a question about the event. Historically speaking, how many people do we average in attendance at these?
That's hard to tell. On the lake, we estimate around 30,000 throughout the day. But then in the surrounding areas, the neighborhoods, we've always estimated about 50,000 that will view the fireworks.
Well, and it seems like the most recent events that we've had, if they're any indicator, it's typically going to be bigger this year than it ever has been. There's pent-up demand, I believe, so hopefully everybody is safe out there and has a good time.
Be patient getting in and out. I think that's probably the key words, is being patient.
I totally agree. And I also want to thank JM Displays. They're the fireworks provider. If you recall last year, under contract, they had the right to choose some of the money if we postponed, but they didn't, and they just said they would carry it over. So I totally appreciate that. That saved us money, and we're looking forward to another good show.
Yeah, completely agree.
Any questions regarding the item? Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-218-2021 with the Sunflower State Games to set the conditions to host the 2021 rowing event scheduled for July 17th at Lake Shawnee, with expenses offset by a special event fee of $500.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is our typical special event contract. We've done this event several years with Sunflower State Games. It's going to be here before you know it. I believe the games start July 9th, and they have multiple events that use our facilities. This is one that takes a special closure of the lake and for no wake for a short period of time, and that's why it's down here before you. Be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions? I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Our next item.
Item E, Health Department. Number 1, Consider authorization and execution of contract C-219-2021 with Kansas Health Institute to conduct a food system analysis with funding from the KDHE Chronic Disease Risk Reduction Grant to support ongoing interventions focused on improving access to food for residents from June 28, 2021 through January 31st, 2022 for a total of $14,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Craig Barnes. Always tough to follow Randy and especially the excitement behind Spirit of Kansas, so I will do my best here. But excited to bring this forward to you today. This is a contract here in partnership with Kansas Health Institute to do a food system assessment or analysis here in Shawnee County. We're a little bit behind our proposal, and we were planning on doing this in around January of 2020 to kind of coincide with the appointment that we had from the commission, if you remember right, to kind of finalize our food system or our Shawnee County Farm and Food Advisory Council back in December. So we're a little bit behind that, but we are excited to do this in partnership with our Farm and Food Advisory Council. It's kind of be the first large project of scale here in Shawnee County to really analyze the food system. One, I think the biggest importance of this, as we know, is that food issues here in Shawnee County were exacerbated by COVID-19 pandemic, and so we're going to be diving into really deeply into the food security and food access issues. This has been a priority area identified through the 2017 food system assessment, which was the first one we had ever done for Shawnee County, which was a very broad, comprehensive assessment of the community. We use that then to inform our community health needs assessment in 2018, which identified the food system as our number 3 priority, and that was from our stakeholders as well as the community that we did through those community perception events. And then in our recently published 2020-2022 Community Health Improvement Plan, this is one of the priority areas that we're working on as a community through all of our stakeholder organizations such as Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods, as well as the health department. So we continually look at the food system. This will give us a deeper dive specifically into access issues and insecurity issues that we've seen here in the community. So we're really excited to get this rolling. It'll be a 6 to 7 month process with a lot of stakeholder engagement, looking and meeting with community partners, doing some primary and secondary data gathering, but also then getting the perceptions again from the community. The Farm and Food Advisory Council will be putting in some good input into this, and hopefully we have a great document that ultimately our council will bring back and we'll be able to present to you and showcase the findings and develop some great interventions looking at specifically policy systems and environmental changes so we can create some sustainable change on improving the food system here in Shawnee County. So a lot there, but I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have today.
The request for the grant is for $14,000. What is it that you hope to have at the end of that study?
Yeah, that's a great question. I appreciate that. So we're using $14,000 that we budgeted through our Chronic Disease Risk Reduction Grant, and at the end, hopefully, what we will have is a tangible report that looks at the food system here that will give us also some actionable interventions that we can look at starting to work on. So we'll be able to use the information from this to then meet with stakeholders to hopefully initiate some sort of change by looking at different policies, system changes, other grant initiatives. There's a lot of moving parts going on right now in our community, looking at increasing SNAP double-up bucks, so access at farmers markets, or reducing food deserts by bringing in other food retailers into areas that no longer now have, steady or easy access. So there's a lot of different opportunities here. We're excited to see the findings that come out of this and then beginning to engage with our stakeholders for next steps.
I mean, there's a lot of words there, Craig, so just kind of let's maybe
Right.
dumb it down
So
for me
I
this
guess
morning.
the easiest thing to say and the simplest is that when we have this report, we'll be able to use this as talking points to engage with partners. And ultimately, once we look at the findings and the data, is to take this and to look at what are some sustainable changes. So what are either some policies that we could maybe bring to this committee or to other groups in Shawnee County to hopefully increase access for those who are most vulnerable in our community.
I mean, your first study indicated that there was food deserts in Shawnee County and within the city of Topeka.
Yes.
And then this is doing what? Duplicating that study to see what has changed?
So not only to look at what has changed, but also if there's, so what we have known from COVID-19 is some of those issues have actually been exacerbated. So we have known that some of the access issues for transportation or because of retail closures and things of that sort, to where maybe people have now more limited access in some areas of our community. And so, you know, we know that farmers markets, for example, if I use a real-time example of what's going on now, we know the farmers markets are very widely used in our community. And so one of the things that we are looking at across the entire spectrum of Shawnee County is making sure that all of our farmers markets here in Shawnee County can accept SNAP benefits, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Because right now, they do not all do that. And so if there's a farmers market, say, on the east side of town with good access for somebody, say, in Pine Ridge or Echo Ridge, who maybe could not get all the way across town or downtown to the downtown farmers markets, we're looking at opportunities here to either provide funding in the future through other grant initiatives or identify the issues. Maybe it's an access to transportation. So there's great partnerships that we could create there, maybe with the Metro or some other community partners, to then ultimately increase access to the farmers markets, to other areas of our community where there is a plentiful amount of food available to individuals. And when I talk about food, not only food itself, but then also healthy food that creates some sort of change in an individual's life and their families.
Questions?
A lot there, yes, right?
Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Our next item.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Item F, Sheriff's Office, number 1. Acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Hill regarding a yearly maintenance contract with Motorola, Contract C220-2021, to provide advanced network inspections and preventative maintenance to the Shawnee County P25 radio communication system at a cost of $260,485.82, utilizing 9/11 funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melanie Berger, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office, Communications Division. This is an annual maintenance contract with Motorola. We have opted into this contract since the inception of our radio system. It provides advanced network inspections, biannual preventative maintenance, and a lot of technical pieces that Motorola will send out technicians to do antenna sweeps, make sure that all of our sites are performing optimally so we can have 100% uptime. It has been more than 18 months since we had a tower have any downtime, which did not cause any communication failures. We were able to catch it quickly, and that's very much due to this preventative maintenance contract. This would be paid out of 911 funds at a cost of $260,485.42. I'd ask for any questions.
Any questions regarding the contract with Motorola?
I'm just curious, maybe you don't know the answer off the top of your head, but exactly how many radios does this support?
We have approximately 6,000 users on our system.
Any other questions? I'll move for approval of the contract.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Reflect that it passes 3-0. Before I let you go, Melanie, during the CARES Act funding, we highlighted the improvement of the software to the emergency dispatch or to your office. Mm-hmm. Have you seen an impact with the software being implemented, or has that had the effect that we hoped it was going to have?
Mm-hmm. Commissioner, when we received the CARES funding for priority dispatch, it was primarily for the COVID. In order to mitigate the spread, so we could let our responders know. And now that we have that in place, our dispatchers are very good at utilizing that particular tool. What we've done now is developed it to a very, very robust system. We will actually be going live with brand new policies July 21st. And what this will do is streamline all of our calls. It will streamline the way the responders receive information, and we also look for it to assist in our hiring and recruitment. right now, we're training our dispatchers how to dispatch several different ways. And this is going to provide the opportunity to train them one way for law, one way for fire, one way for EMS, and make it a little less overwhelming. So we will provide some more information once that goes live. It will also have a really in-depth quality assurance program, and then all of our dispatchers and quality assurance staff have received their certifications and training in the last 2 months on the new portion that we're using.
Okay, great. I look forward to the update once the policies change. Thank you. Any other questions?
I'll move for acknowledgement.
Well, we've already approved it, so we're good.
Oh.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Number 2, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Hill regarding award letters from high-intensity drug trafficking area for the DEA task force position in the annual amount allowed of $25,340.25.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Scott Askey with the Sheriff's Office. This award was born out of a partnership with the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration. We provide an officer to the DEA as part of a task force with them, and this $25,000 is used for reimbursement for overtime for that officer, for the accrual of that overtime. And I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions? Now you can move to acknowledge.
I'll move for acknowledgement.
Second.
Motion to acknowledge receipt by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, reflect that it passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Our next item.
Administrative communications.
This is an opportunity for any member of the public or department head or elected official, such as the treasurer, to address the commission on any item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. I'm announcing today that I'm going to have to temporarily close the annex on 17th Street this Thursday and Friday. Our air conditioning system failed out there, and we're scheduled for replacement starting Thursday and Friday, and hopefully back up and running on Monday. We'll have to suffer through the hot temperatures for the next 3 days, but hopefully we'll get that fixed. Just for your information, that's all paid for by the landlord. There's no cost to Shawnee County, either motor vehicle or to the general fund.
Okay.
Larry, have you brought in any fans or anything for your
I
staff,
literally
if nothing else?
taped together an air conditioner off to the side, literally taped it together. And we've been suffering actually for the last couple of weeks because the parts weren't available. The parts are now available, and we've scheduled it for this as soon as we can get it in, which would be this Thursday and Friday. They've got to work above the clerical staffs, and the doors are going to be open, so it'll be pretty warm in there, and not a very pleasant location to be at. We do have 29 appointments. We will contact all those folks, and they will be transferred down here to the courthouse or rescheduled. We'll have all the employees that normally work at the annex working here at the courthouse. So it may get a little busy on Thursday and Friday, but we can handle it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Mays, anything?
Well, I attended last week the Kansas Association of County Commissioners conference in Liberal, Kansas. So I want to thank them for their hospitality in Liberal. It was a good event. I learned a lot, met a lot of other county commissioners from around the state. So happy to have been able to attend that. So appreciate it.
Thank you for going. Commissioner Rippon.
Well, it's Flag Day today, so get out Old Glory and raise it up the flagpole. I was in western Kansas as well, southwest Kansas. I visited Boot Hill, and then on the way back I stopped at Rolling Hills Zoo in Salina. And it's always interesting to see how other people operate their facilities, and came back with some good ideas that we might be able to use in some of ours. So that was it.
I did not go to Western Kansas this last weekend, but I enjoyed Shawnee County. You don't have anything else to report. Our next item.
Executive sessions?
There is not a need for an executive session today. We're adjourned.
I did get to go tap that, though.
Yeah?
How was it? COVID is officially